speaker is Vanek from Cornell Civil and Environmental Engineering, and he's here today to talk a little bit about some alternatives for this facility and in general.
No.
All right, thanks very much, Nell, for that introduction. And great to see everybody.
My bad.
Yeah, so, closer. Okay, can you hear me now? All right, so one thing I want to mention is that I biked out here. I was hoping to form like a bike caravan. It was a bike caravan of one this time, but in the future it'll grow, right? And I was thinking about Mahatma Gandhi, expressed his opposition to the British, and one way he did it was he would, instead of riding the trains, he would walk from one place to another, and thousands of people would walk with him. So I think that would be a great thing to develop.
Power down!
Yeah.
Power down.
So along with teaching at Cornell, I also grew up around here, and just to tell you how things have changed. Like when I was in high school, I learned that this was a good place to go fishing because the fish would congregate in the warm water. And then as a college student, the big issue was zebra mussels and trying to keep zebra mussels out of the pipes that lead from this plant. But what we didn't realize is we were setting ourselves up for this tremendous problem and challenge of climate change. So we don't have time anymore to have a whole other generation of using fracked gas while we wait for something else to come along. So that's the bad news, but the good news is, we can really do it. We can really transition to renewables right now.
Yes!
Yeah. And the other thing is, I feel like in the discussion in the community, this is being framed as there's only turn this plant into a plant powered by gas or do nothing else. And if we don't do it, it'll suffer, but that's not true.
There are alternatives.
There are alternatives, and the alternatives are coming. The money's going to get spent on energy somehow, and we decide how it's going to get spent, so let's talk about that. One thing is, say you look at the town of Lansing that might lose the resource, the revenue from the taxes from this plant. Well, another thing they could do, you've got thousands of homes in Lansing that are probably in good places to put up a solar array. So that would create a lot of jobs. It would take years and years of people installing solar panels to get that all installed, and those jobs would pay good wages, and that would bring money into the community that way. So that's one thing. Another thing, if you use solar around here, you notice that in the wintertime it doesn't produce nearly as much as in the summer, but that's where wind energy comes in. We're very lucky that we have this other renewable energy source that actually is strongest in the wintertime, so it's a nice complementarity. The other thing is, one of the reasons I got interested in coming here today was a few weeks ago I published in the Ithaca Journal a letter about some possible alternatives to using fracked gas at this plant. Now, I want to say that I don't know for certain that those are the right alternatives, and so one of them, let's say, is biomass. And we were talking about this on the way down here. It might make more sense to burn biomass like locally to heat your homes instead of bringing it to this plant, but it should really be seriously looked at by the people who are running the plant. I did a project with my students, and that brings it to one level. But it's not really fair for a big group of well-paid professionals to just look at natural gas and then just dismiss biomass after looking at it for 5 minutes.
They want more money!
Yeah, that is not the... Speak closer, okay, sorry. Okay. And that's the last thing I want to say is that there has to be a change of attitude. Instead of people clinging to this old way of sticking to fossil fuels and insisting that we have to repower this plant with gas and we have to exploit shale gas because, quote unquote, the other alternatives are not ready yet. Well, yeah, it's hard work to switch over to those alternatives, but it'll be hard work 20 years from now. It's the same process of switching, and if we wait 20 years, the consequences are just that much worse. So instead of being a question of these professionals just manage this plant and look only at natural gas, it should be like we all get together, including them, and we figure out, if we were going to do biomass seriously, how would we do it? and be part of the problem and not just be part of the solution and not just continue the problem. So thank you. Thanks very much. I'm going to clear out pretty soon because it takes a long time to get back to it. But yeah, join me next time. Right, thank you very much, everybody. Bye-bye.
I know. Thank you.
Yeah? Working? Okay, sounds good.